last time we're continuing to read the Homeric hymn to Hermes here, and if you're interested in learning ancient Greek or Latin, you can find my information in the description. And this is a great little poem, something that I translated in college. I think I've been explaining this in the last episode. We saw Hermes take two oxen, two of the divine cattle of Apollo that he had stolen, and throw them on the ground and then break their backs right there. So he killed the cattle, and now in this episode of the poem, we are going to see him create a like almost a sacrifice, I guess, to himself. I don't quite remember how the poem goes going forward, if this is further explained, but he's about to sacrifice them. And so starting there on line 120, I'll read out the portion that I'm expecting to go down to 129 today. So we just finished with that line that ends with tetoresas. Okay, that's where he's breaking the oxen's back. And it says, ergo dergonopadze tamon crea pi onademo, opta damphobeloisi peparmena durate oisi, sarkas homu kai nota gerasmia kai melonhaima, ergmenon en choladesi tadautu hetepihores, rinus dexet. Okay, let's try that again. Rinus dex etanus secatas dupelo enipetre, hos etinun tametasam polu chronioi pepuasi, de ron de metatauta kai akriton auta. Now, okay, try that again. De ron de metatauta kai akriton autarepeta, Hermes charmopron erusato pi ona erga, leo epi platamoni kai esquise do decamoiras, clero pales teleon de geras prosetheken hecaste. Okay, so I'm clearly struggling here to read this in the proper meter, but you get the idea what this would have sounded like. And just as a reminder, these bards would be doing this perfect dactylic hexameter verse while kind of making it up as they go along, right? They would know the story, but they would have a set of stock phrases and words that they knew would fit the meter properly. And so you get a lot of words, and we're going to see at least one, possibly more. I didn't check every one that I suspected was this, but you get some of these words that are only ever used in epic poetry or only ever used in this specific poem, which any word that appears only once in the entire corpus of ancient Greek is called a hapax legomenon. It's only written once. So, okay, ergo dergonopadze tamon crea piona demo. So this is a nice self-contained line that this verb opadze means like he followed one thing with another, and conveniently we have ergo in the dative and then ergon in the accusative. So he followed one work after another. In other words, he went from task to task, okay? Tamon crea piona demo, cutting up the meat rich with fat. You'll notice demos. Okay, when the accent mark is over the first syllable, it means the people, but when it's over the second syllable, it means fat. So, rich with fat, piona demo. Okay. Opta dampo beloisi peparmena durate oisi sarkas. Okay, so what's going on here? He broiled or cooked, and we're again looking back at this noun crea, right? The meat. So he cooked it, having peparmena, having pierced it, amphi, like on both sides. But I think the idea here is that he's pierced it through, right? Obeloisi durate oisi, on wooden spits. Okay, the obeloisi, like an obelisk, right? It's like a long thing, and then durate oisi means wooden. So having pierced it with long spits, he broiled the sarkas, the or no, so he grilled it. Sarkas homu kainota, the bodies of the cows. Um, Homu here, I think it's at the same time or together. And both the Nota Gerasmia, they're honored, backs. I mean, I want to say that this is like considered the good part of the cow, right? The good beef. Both the prime cuts, so to speak, and kai melan haima ergmenon en choladesi, and the black blood contained ergmenon or confined in the choladesi, in the intestines. So he's cooking the whole thing, including the guts and so he's making his haggis, I guess, is sheep. So I don't know what you call. I think there is actually a name for cow guts, and somewhere somebody eats it, but he's cooking both the guts and the prime cuts, right? Pa dau tu kit epichores. So then he laid them, the ta here. You notice how when you see what would ordinarily in Attic Greek or the ancient Greek, you're more like the classical Greek, you're more likely to study. When you see something that looks like a definite article in Homeric Greek or epic poetry, it's almost always a pronoun instead. You don't actually see them use a lot. You don't see the author of this use a lot of ha, hey, ta, unless it's intended to be used as a pronoun, like in this case, right? That Kate, here this is kimai, he laid them, okay, dautu epichores, he laid them in that very place, I want to say. And then hrinus dexetanuse katas tupelo eni petre. So then he ex etanuse, he stretched out the rhinus, the skins, right? I think we get words like rind from this word, but also rhinoplasty, right? It ex etanuse. So he stretched out the skins, katastupelo epipetro, any petro, sorry, on a very hard petre, rock, right? Hos etinun tametasa poluchronioi pepuasi deron de metatauta kai akriton autarepeta. Okay, I messed up the meter there, but the autarepeta is part of the next bit here. That means like, but then. So before we get to that, though, what's going on here? So he stretched out the skins on this hard rock, and thus eti. So this can mean like still or and I want to say still now, right? Nun metasa thereafter. Poluchronioi pepuasi. So pepuasi comes from fuo, which has a wide variety of meanings, everything from to beget or create, right? So it's something like he made it that way, and it remains like we're about to get over here to he established, right? He established it in that way, hos. And even now, thereafter, poluchronioi is like, for a long time, right? Poluchronioi. This specific form, let me just kind of run this through this is like long lasting or long lived, right? So this would be that he established it, hos, in that way, and still now thereafter tametasa poluchronioi, for many years. And some of the cases don't really line up here, but it's sort of like many years brought them about, because this is the third person plural, actually. It's not that he brought it about, it's that. So to go back here, he stretched out the skins on a very hard rock, and thus the long lasting ones brought it about in this way and still thereafter. Okay. Deiron, for a long time, metatauta, after these things, and akriton. I want to say this is like, shoot, I just made a flashcard for this word as I was going through and preparing to do this. And, ah, and now I can't find it. Hang on, let me just copy this and look it up. There we go. And akriton, it does actually come from krino, having to do with judgment, but here it's sort of like um, untried, unjudged, ceaseless, countless. That I think is the better. So it remains that way ceaselessly, right? This is like a neuter adverbial accusative here, or I shouldn't say neuter. I should just say an adverbial accusative, right? Autarepeta, but then, you know what? It's been 11 minutes. We didn't make it quite as far as I was expecting, but we'll continue again tomorrow. Till then, if you're interested in learning about epic poetry, ancient Greek, Latin, then you can find my information in the description. Till next time, Wale.